Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always ready to dive in.
Awesome. So today we're going to try and figure out something that I think we've all wondered about at some point, like why we make decisions that, well, later on just seem completely bonkers.
The mysteries of the human mind, right?
Right. And lucky for us, we've got a guide to help us navigate this.
Oh, yeah. Lay it on me.
We're taking a deep dive into Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Ever heard of him?
Wait, the Nobel Prize winner?
That's the one.
Yeah.
So we're definitely in good hands here. I mean, a Nobel Prize for understanding how we think. That's pretty impressive,
Yeah,
really.
no, you're absolutely right. That's got to be worth checking out.
Absolutely. And by the time we're done with this deep dive, we're going to have a way better grasp on why we do the things we do, how to avoid those mental traps that we all fall into, and maybe even how to, use our brains a little more effectively to make better decisions.
Sounds like a plan. What's this Kahneman guy all about then?
So, the heart of his book is this idea that we've actually got two systems running in our brains all the time. He calls them System 1 and System 2.
Two systems. Okay,
It's a
understood.
system. Yeah. So System 1, that's our fast, intuitive, emotionally driven system. Think of it like autopilot.
Okay, so autopilot. Gotcha.
Yeah. It lets us just cruise through a lot of our day without having to overthink every little thing. Like when your phone buzzes and you just, without even thinking about it, reach for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Right. We all are. It's totally essential for just navigating life efficiently. But there's a catch.
Always a catch, right? What is it?
Well, because System 1 is all about speed, it tends to, take shortcuts. And those shortcuts, they don't always lead us to the best choices. It can make us biased, impulsive. You know the drill.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see where this is going, and I'm already a little worried about what this means for my own decision making.
Me too. But hey, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah, that's what they say, at least.
Exactly. So think about it. Ever buy something you didn't really need just because it was on sale?
Maybe more often than I'd like to admit.
Hey, me too. That's classic System 1, right? It sees sale, it sees discount, and it jumps. Doesn't stop to ask if we actually need another pair of shoes.
Or another gadget, another book. The list goes on.
The struggle is real. Okay, but what about this System 2? What's that all about?
All right, so if System 1 is the autopilot, System 2 is more like the manual driver. It's the thoughtful, analytical part of our brain, the one that gets engaged when we gotta solve a tricky problem, or learn something new, or make one of those big life-altering decisions.
So like when we're picking a college or a career path or figuring out our taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Things that take a bit more brain power. It's like when you really take the time to research a big purchase, weighing the pros and cons, reading all the reviews.
Oh yeah, that's definitely not a quick add to cart situation.
Not at all. That's System 2 in action, helping us make those more rational, well-considered choices.
So it sounds like we need both systems, right? System 1 for quick thinking and System 2 for those big decisions.
You got it. The problem is, well, System 2 is kind of lazy.
Lazy. How so?
It takes effort to fire it up. It's like a muscle that gets tired really easily. So we tend to default to System 1 a lot more often, even when maybe we shouldn't.
Ah, I see. So that's where we get into trouble. We let the quick, impulsive system take over when we really should be engaging the thoughtful, analytical one.
That's exactly what Kahneman is saying. And that's where those mental shortcuts he calls cognitive biases come in. And let me tell you, those biases can really mess us up.
Okay, I got to know more about these biases. Give me an example.
All right, so one of the most powerful ones, and maybe the most frustrating too, is what Kahneman calls loss aversion.
Loss aversion. What's that all about?
Okay, picture this. You lose a $100 bill.
Oof, that hurts just thinking about it.
Right. Now imagine you find a $100 bill just lying on the street.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Of course. But here's the thing. The pain you'd feel from losing that $100, it would be way stronger than the joy you'd feel from finding it.
You're right, it would. I've never thought about it like that, but it's so true. Why is that, though?
Well, Kahneman says it's because our brains are wired to feel losses way more intensely than we feel gains.
Wow, that's fascinating. And kind of depressing.
I know, right? But here's the thing. Because of this loss aversion, we often make decisions that are, overly cautious, even when taking a bit of a risk could actually be way more beneficial in the long run.
Ah, okay, I think I see what you mean. So it's like sticking with a job we hate just because we're terrified of what might happen if we try something new.
Exactly. Loss aversion keeps us stuck in our comfort zones, even when change, even when some risk, could lead to something way better.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. What other biases do I need to watch out for?
Well, there's this thing called the anchoring effect, which basically means that the first piece of information we get about something, it can really stick in our minds and influence our thinking, even if it's totally
Oh,
irrelevant.
that sounds dangerous.
It can be. Think about like negotiating the price of, say, a used car. The first number the seller throws out there, even if it's ridiculously high, it kind of becomes an anchor in our minds, and that can unconsciously affect how much we're willing to pay.
So even if we know it's a crazy high price, it still influences us. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's like this sneaky mental trick our brains play on us. And then there's the availability heuristic, which is all about how easily we can remember certain information.
Availability.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
so think about news coverage of plane crashes.
Oh, yeah, those are always so intense.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Now, statistically speaking, flying is actually super safe. But because those stories about crashes are so vivid and dramatic and, well, easily available in our minds, we tend to overestimate the risk of flying. Ah, I see. We base our judgments on what we can most easily recall, even if it's not the most accurate reflection of reality.
Exactly. And that can lead us to make decisions based on like fear or anxiety instead of on, a more rational assessment of the situation.
So, in a way, knowledge of these biases is kind of like a superpower.
100%. The more aware we are of these mental shortcuts, the better choices we can make.
It's like having a behind-the-scenes look at how our own minds work.
Yeah. And once you see the tricks, they're not so tricky anymore.
Exactly. So, to all our listeners out there, here's something to think about. What decision are you grappling with right now? Big or small, doesn't matter. Now think about it. Could loss aversion be holding you back? Is the anchoring effect playing tricks on you? Are you falling prey to the availability heuristic? The more we understand how our minds work, the more power we have to make choices that are truly in line with our goals and values.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that, my friend, is the power of a good deep dive.
Until next time.
Catch you later.